Right. Now we move on to Wolves versus Tottenham, which is going to be the early kickoff on Saturday. So there's a quick turnaround, boys. For the next game, and we've done this before. We played Monday night, then we played Friday night, and we won. Annoyingly, this time we've got no Christian Romero, no Mickey van der Ven, and potentially no James Maddison. Now, I believe
and no Udogie either, no Udogie either.
So I believe that Maddison, if he doesn't play, Bentancur probably will come in that role. I believe, and that's like for like in a certain sense.
Yeah.
Who is in your back four for the game against Wolves, Wynnie?
Right. So I think that it will be Pedro Porro at right back. It will be Emerson Royale at left back. And if fit, I think Eric Dyer and Ben Davis. However, if Ben Davis isn't 100%, then for me, Ashley Phillips, welcome to the Premier League.
Amazing. And Kallum, is there any young starlets in the under-21s you want to see come through for this Wolves game?
Right, so we're going to go Charlie Sayers at left back, Alfie Dorrington and Ashley Phillips at centre back, and Dante Casanova at right back. Because after tonight, Pedro Porro can fuck off.
I thought he had a good game.
Nah, mate, he got... How many times was he on his arse? How many times did he get skinned on that left-hand side? It was ridiculous. No, in all seriousness, mate, I would probably say that, like Wynnie, I'd probably go with Davis, Dyer, Phillips, Porro, or Emerson if Davis isn't fit. It's going to be the bench options that you're going to have to then look at for your centre-backs because we ain't got that many unless you do go to the 21s.
Yeah.
So maybe Dorrington comes in.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Porro, Phillips, Dyer, Emerson, to be honest.
Do you reckon he chucks Phillips in?
I think so. I think either with Phillips or Dorrington. I genuinely think that. I think that I don't know how fit Ben Davis is.
What I will say is I think Angie's the type of person to throw Phillips in. And from what I'm led to believe, Phillips trains with, or he had been at one point training with the first team. And I believe Dorrington also the same. So, if they're training with the first team and they're not being sent straight back to the under-21s, and they're obviously, to a certain standard to be able to fill in when needed. So, I don't know. The Sky Sports are currently debating about our high line, so I bet that's interesting.
I mean,
I think Phillips.
You praise that high line if it finishes 2-1, or we get an equaliser. When it's 4-1, it then gets dissected, right?
Yeah, of course. No,
but more importantly, let's just move straight into it. I want score predictions, baby. I want some score predictions for this.
Cool. See you later. Good night.
Just so to keep us all up to date, the scores from the Chelsea game, none of us got any points for that. So the table remains completely unchanged. Kallum so far down, he's actually out of it. But Kallum, Harry, Dave on 8, Wynnie on 11, and me on 14. Do you know what? I'm going to make it fair for everyone because I don't want people thinking that, I let everyone go first. I will go first. Wolves 0, Spurs 2.
What did you say, sorry?
Wolves 0, Spurs 2.
Mental. You are mental.
Kallum, I'm coming to you next.
1-0 Spurs.
You're mental.
Bear with me, I'm writing these down.
Wynnie, 12-0 Wolves.
No. No, I'm not that bad. 2-0 Wolves.
Wow. And then we'll ask the others for both Harry and Dave. I'll text them in a minute for their score predictions. Winnie, do you genuinely feel like what's saying to you that Wolves are going to beat us?
Is because I think today. So I think we've lost 3 of our back 4, and the back 4 have been our driving force. For me, I know, and the reason why I say that is because all of our goals, they've come from all over the park. It hasn't just been our front 3 that are scoring goals. Van der Ven has scored, Romero scored. All of our back line have had a very, very big part of a lot of our goals this season. So, and we've just lost 3 of them for our next game. And we've got people coming in who I'm not going to say aren't good enough, but they're not to the standard that, we've been used to. So, in addition to that, the remaining 9 people that were left on the pitch, that's going to have took a lot out of them players. I just don't think they're going to be able to give the same effort, the same intensity and everything again on Saturday for the early kickoff. Do you know what I mean? There's a big portion of that game where, and let's not forget, they didn't just stop playing football, Tottenham. Sonny was still running his heart out. So I think, coupled the 2 together, the 9 players that were remaining had a lot to do, and they're still going to be knackered. Although Eric Dyer was brilliant when he came on, when he's got a lot of time and he's starting a game, I just don't think that he is good enough to be a starter for us. So I just think we're gonna pay the price.
Okay.
I've just seen as well. There is pictures circulating out there that Mickey van der Ven has been seen in the mixed zone and the exclusion zone in the stadium on crutches and in a boot as well, and potentially being walked along with a paramedic, say maybe on his way to North Mid Hospital at the moment for leg scans as well, from what I'm hearing out there. So
cheers, Jeff.
Well, at least we'll get an answer sooner.
Exactly.
I reckon in the next 2 days we're probably going to be looking at something coming out from the medical team, from what I'm seeing at the moment.
I mean, if he's getting potentially scanned tonight, then there should be no reason why tomorrow. We don't know the extent.
Well, it depends on how much swelling there is around the hamstring and his
true.
upper leg, which will dictate whether, because remember, swelling obviously blocks out a lot of X-ray images if you can't see directly through to the bone or where it is. So you never know. Just going back to it as well, do you guys feel it's the wrong choice to play Doji based on the fact that he's only had 1 training session this afternoon?
No. I think it's his own fault. It's got nothing to do with fitness. He wasn't unfit, in my opinion. He didn't look unfit.
Mm-hmm.
He looked lazy and irresponsible.
Obviously, in hindsight, yes, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. So yeah, like just echoing what Luke said, I don't think his decision making and his tackles and that were down to fatigue and down to lack of fitness. I think they were just him trying to make up and atone for some of the errors that he had made. So
it's another young player just having to get out of it. I'm hoping it's him being young to get out of his system and all that. Remember, he's only 20 as well. You've got to go through them reckless times, but hopefully he doesn't come like Romero.
Yeah, he'll learn from it. I'd like to say Romero will learn from it, but he's been in this situation before. So, how many times do you do it before you eventually learn your lesson? So, I don't know.
Exactly, mate.
Right. Well, that wraps us up for today. So thank you for everybody for tuning into the show. Winnie, thanks again. How can everyone find you?
Winnie. You what? Sorry.
And what have you got coming up?
Well, mate, I don't have anything coming up other than me and you potentially starting the little FIFA series that we're gonna try that out and see how it works, and if it works, as we hope, as we expect, then we can get something with the channel going. So yeah, obviously keep your eyes peeled for that. But in the meantime, Winnie 1991 on Twitter, and admin for the Park Lane Pod Twitter. And look, all we can do now is let's just keep our fingers crossed that some of the injuries that we have incurred today aren't as serious as we expect them to be, and we'll do it all again on Saturday early afternoon.
Exactly. Kallum, thanks again, buddy. How can everyone find you?
At Kallum Stubbs 97 on Twitter, mate. As always, tonight has been one of the toughest games since the Battle of the Bridge for me. So I hope that Spurs don't do it to me on Saturday. And I'm glad we're not doing a live watch along. Unless people want to do it, then we may be doing it.
And you can find me at Luke_Park Lane. More importantly, make sure you're following Park Lane Pod on all social media platforms. We also have a WhatsApp channel now as well, so you can join the WhatsApp channel. TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. It's Park Lane Pod across all platforms. But once again, thank you all very, very much for watching. Thank you for tuning in again tonight. And we'll see you all on Sunday night at 7 p.m. as we dissect the game against Wolves. It's hard to say.
I don't think I've got it in me.
You Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.